Just before we jump in, I want to add a quick note of caution. Fasting, whilst a great biblical discipline, needs to be carefully considered according to your situation. If you're doing a manual labour job, it's not a good idea to fast on 3 of your working days. And equally, if you have certain health conditions, please just check with your doctor and seek their advice. Have faith in God, but use His gift of wisdom. Okay, so tip number 1, it's a food thing. Fasting by definition is abstaining from food or drink or both. And you'll hear people say, and I am one of those, I'm fasting TV or games, etc. And choosing to give those up to seek God is great. However, it's not technically fasting by definition. To fast is to forgo food, water, or both for a certain period of time to press into God with prayer. 3 types of fasting you could try are a regular fast, which is going without all food and liquids except water. And this is usually the main one people do. A partial fast is what we see Daniel do in the Old Testament, choosing certain foods and drinks to go without, usually for a longer period of time. And this isn't for dietary reasons, it's again to press into God in prayer. Or a full fast, though please seek advice and wisdom in this. A full fast is going without foods and liquids full stop. And you might do this on a day where you can rest or take some days off specifically for this. Tip number 2, build up. If this is something you're brand new to, build up to longer periods of time. You might choose to fast 1 meal, then 2, then a day, then 2 days, etc. You get the idea. It's getting your body used to it because for some of us, it can be a massive adjustment. When it comes to fasting, it's about prayer, or in some cases, humility and repentance. You're telling God, this thing my body needs isn't as important as the person my spirit and soul need. As Jesus aptly said to Satan, man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. I wouldn't advise jumping into a full week of fasting unless you know God is telling you to. However, still seek support from wise friends and leaders around you. You might want to fast once a quarter, once a month, once a week. Whatever you do, start small and then build up. Tip number 3, fast with friends. When you've got the opportunity to invite someone into this spiritual discipline, it's incredibly life-giving, especially if you're praying for the same things. Doing it with others gives you determination, moral support, wisdom, and often greater clarity into who or what you're praying about. You've also got a level of accountability that you just wouldn't have by yourself. It's easy to stop fasting when it gets hard or before you've even started, when you feel like you're not letting anyone down. Though we do well to think about how God feels, but having others will help you stick to your commitments and it makes fasting more enjoyable and manageable. So there you go, 3 tips on fasting. I know there was a lot in there, but I hope you can take some of those ideas so your relationship with God grows stronger and stronger. To recap, tip number 1, it's a food thing. Tip number 2, build up. And tip number 3, fast with friends. You'll find further resources to help you in fasting in the Discover More section of this episode. For more discipleship content like this, visit cbneurope.com/Devo.